What's up, strangers? It's your boy, some dude who keeps on forgetting what to say. And in today's video, I'm basically going to be talking about the Yeti, or technically Christmas event that literally happened, what, like 5 to 6-ish months ago. And I'm basically going to give my overall opinion on it because, well, technically kind of December's a little bit closer. And I just want to give my overall opinion of what the update was and how it just overall just affected the game. So let's start off on the day of December the 4th, or 19, whatever it is. And basically, there was a bunch of new things added to the game. Of course, a bunch of like new guns and stuff like that, but mostly are the Christmas gifts, the new map, especially with the new boss, and a bunch of other things. But first, we're going to be going over I'm pretty sure the most infamous part of this, which is the challenges, and the challenges to get to the Christmas gifts. There are around, I believe, 4 in total gifts. There is the gift of warm wishes, gift of jingle bells, the gift of superstars, and the gift of the Yeti. And each of these challenges are a little bit easier and a little bit more harder. For an example, gift of the warm wishes is basically play 10 matches, which is very simple. The second gift is gift of the jingle bells, which is basically eliminate a bunch of survivors, collect 12 daily rewards, and finally collect 30 what's it called, jingle bells that spawn in the map randomly. I'm pretty sure it's just randomly or just fall from the sky. The next gift is basically the challenge Valiant Survivor, and this is by far the most hardest challenge in my opinion, because this is literally pushes you to your fingers, to your bones of your fingers basically. And this is basically win 5 matches on arena and campaign, but as a human. Meaning, if you're playing with randoms, which is most likely, you're going to be having a tough time because you're going to be wanting the people with Roblox weapons, and it is going to be excruciatingly, whatever it is, difficult as you continue to play the games, either get as a human or as a zombie. And if you get a zombie, it just doesn't work. And if you get a human, you just have to be super lucky on campaign and on arena to hopefully know that your allies know what they're doing, and hopefully you can win. This was an extremely hard challenge, and the gift, or the reward, which was the fast Uzi gun, the Vector, that's what it was called, the Vector, which in my opinion is not that great, but it could use a lot of buffs, but really it's an okay gun. Don't really use it, and I would say that this reward does not definitely fit with the challenge to get it. And finally, the last challenge, which is Gift of the Yeti, which is basically kill the Yeti boss in the new game mode, Trouble and Tundra, or whatever it was. And basically, you have to kill a Yeti boss that had millions of HP, and to get a Yeti Defender. That was basically it. 4 gifts with 4, 4 rewards that are pretty decent. The first reward is a cookie. The second reward is a tech, which is pretty decent as a secondary. The third reward is a Vector, which is absolute dog shit. And finally, the last one is actually a good one, which is Defender of a Yeti, but it does get blocked because it doesn't do any damage to any zombies for some reason. Okay, now we're going to be talking about the, Now we're going to be talking about the actual thing about this, which is the Yeti. The Yeti was a nice introduction into this because, it was like literally the only thing that was different about zombie fighting and surviving against. And it was basically all humans, aka every single player, fighting a giant AI who had, at first, 1 million HP, and you had about, 4 to 5 minutes to actually kill it, meaning it was basically a suicide mission and you were unable to do it. I remember the first time this happened, I actually just got really excited, and I was like, oh yeah, we can kill this thing. It's a million, but that's a lot, but it can take about a minute or two. And it turns out every single weapon did at least 40 to 60 most damage at most, and about headshot was like at least 60 to 70 at most. And you had 3 minutes to do it, which basically meant that at least everyone got it to at least 900,000 HP or 800,000, and that was it. It was basically impossible to kill because it was so overpowered, so much HP, and especially the fact that you had literally 3 minutes to get it to 800,000, that it was unkillable. The next update basically made it to where it had like 500,000 HP, I think, and it was still extremely powerful. And I'm pretty sure everyone got it to at least like 300,000 HP. And I'm pretty sure that was a time when everyone realized there was a second stage to the Yeti, which basically meant it was enraged. All your weapons did less damage by like what, like a few hit points, and basically a bunch of chillers would come out when it smashes the ground or something, or no, when it basically smashed the ground by its foot, basically stomping. And a bunch of chillers would come out, freezing everyone to basically until they either rage quit or until the Yeti just came on over and snapped them out of reality with either destroying them with his giant ice club or with his ice strike little thing, the freezing thing. And that was basically it. And it was still so incredibly powerful. The next update, I'm pretty sure, basically made it so it had like 250,000 HP, and people were very, very, very close to actually beating it, but still nobody was able to. And then that was the time when the chillers on the second stage actually received a nerf by the amount spawn. I'm pretty sure that, well, nobody actually beat it, really. Then finally, the last update, which basically made it to the Yeti had 100,000 HP, and I'm pretty sure you had like 11 minutes or something like that to basically kill it. And I'm pretty sure once you got it to like 50,000 HP, you went on to second stage, which was just satisfying because now everyone was able to get it, and it was just like a 50-50 if your team had enough of the people who bought Roblox stuff to be able to kill it, or if you guys were just gonna die, you could try again and, you know, maybe even get it, which was nice. And that was basically it on the Yeti thing. It was so incredibly complex because at first nobody was able to even get close to killing it because they had 1 million, then to 500,000, then to 200,000, then to basically 100,000. That was the Yeti's path from unkillable god to a decent boss. But I'm pretty sure the main problem was because, well, I'm pretty sure the people working on this game didn't test it at first, or they did test it, but they didn't test the killing type of it. And more or less like, oh, we can survive it, this is fine. And not like, oh, can we kill him this time? Nah, that's fine. Or something like that. In my opinion, the Yeti boss was a great idea. The only thing was that it was just poorly executed because it wasn't tested just good enough, or just enough really, to actually allow players to be able to do it. And especially the fact that literally the challenges also affected it as well. Finally, on to the last part is the part about the challenges and the gifts, and basically about how what was there to come after all this. The challenges were very decent. All of them were very good, very easy to do. The only one that was literally impossible was the Valiant Survivor, where you had to get 5 arena wins and 5 campaign wins. You had to either be very lucky to get it or very impossibly unlucky to get it. This was a very hard challenge, and when we finally unlocked it, or after a lot of people unlocked the win 5 matches on arena and campaign, an update came out, and basically you only had to like win 2 to 3, which basically made it so literally if you wasted hours upon hours of playing this game to complete those 2 specific requirements, completing those matches, you literally just wasted your time, basically. I remember when I completed the win 5 matches on both of those, I felt so relieved that I felt like I can actually kill myself and not feel at all ashamed. But then when that update came out, I was like, bruh, are you serious? But, I mean, I guess that's okay. But the fact that the reward you get is actually more awful than the cookie, or, no, not the cookie necessarily, well, technically kind of like the cookie. It is so much worse than the cookie that nobody even uses the vector to this day. I think like in every 20 games, I see one person using the vector. That's how rare it is. It's either the fact that nobody uses it, or the ones who do use it are just super rare. And either way, this reward is just absolutely bad. And I remember when I used it, it was just so god awful, literally. And I say it's still a bad gun, and you shouldn't really go for it. You should use the Galil, AK, crossbow, sniper, laser rifle. Well, technically kind of laser rifle is a bit nerfed, but it's still strong. Spaz, of course, Tommy gun, of course, minigun, of course, flamethrower, and all those other guns. Do not use the Vector, only if you want to actually suffer. Then finally, the Yeti, what's it called, Defender, which was actually a very nice defender. The only thing is that if you block it, for some reason, it doesn't damage the zombies that's blocking it. It would have been better if it did at least 100 damage, so you know, it can actually still do something. And the fact that it can just get easily stuck behind a wall or something like that, depending where the Tangler or Hunter is, it will just shoot the structure. They're dead or basically saved by a human. And the Yeti's just a lot more useless at that point. But I still use them because, number one, Yetis and Hunters are a little bit more difficult to kill with elves and gingerbread. But at least the Yeti can actually do something and not like oh, well, you're screwed, you know? So, the gifts were a nice, they were very, very awesome, actually, thing. It's just that the challenges for the specific one was just a massive downfall. Especially the fact that it was supposed to be like the most best one alongside the Yeti. Just, no, it was not. It was very bad. And overall, what we should be expecting for the next Yeti, or not Yeti, for the next Christmas update in literally about 5 months? Hold on, let's do some quick math here. July, August, September, October, November, December. Yeah, 6 months. Big one. And what will we be expecting? I would say another more gifts, obviously. Secondly, more harder challenges, yes, but not impossible. And thirdly, will we be getting something like similar to the Yeti? Possibly, if they tested it out more and probably like that. But they could kind of do something like the Thanksgiving events, where basically saying you would basically have the turkeys. You would basically kill the turkeys in order to basically continue your progression for your challenge. And they could basically do that again, which is basically reskinning the chillers to the Yetis, but not giving the Yeti abilities, but just reskinning the chillers to be Yetis. And every time you kill a chiller, it would count towards the Yeti killing. So basically, Yetis would be chillers, and you would just kill the Yetis, and yeah, that's basically it. They could probably do something around that, or make an entirely different game mode like they did, or maybe just some sort of like finding some gifts around the map to be able to add to your progression. And I'm really looking forward to Christmas, Halloween, Thanksgiving, because those are the holidays that you know stuff's about to hit up. So overall, the Christmas update was a very, very awesome event because you got to see an entirely new game mode, brand new gifts, of course, or more gifts that basically everyone was able to unlock, which is just amazing in many of the games that people actually make with at least one brain cell. Because there's a lot of games where they're just like, hey look, a new holiday, good news, there's a battle pass, or you can actually buy something and with actual money and have this exclusive thing. Like, bro, what about the other people who don't have money, who are struggling, or who just want to spend it on other things? Instead you're just like, oh, screw you then. But at least this game, it made it so, hey, if you try it at least, you can get some nice things, especially Defender for those the ones who don't have any Robux. Wouldn't you want a free Defender? Yeah, here's a free Defender. Like, dang, that's immediately good. I've seen people who don't have any Robux things, but have the Defender on, and I'm just like, damn, that's nice. That's really nice. At least the game actually gives players free items, and not, hey, spend money so you can get this exclusive item. No, they actually give it to you for free if you try. And that's what I like about games like that. They actually give you things to do to get great stuff, all for free and not to spend any money. Good job, other games.